Cam for Cam's Mortgage Minute. Hey, today I talked to you about stated income. Now that's an expression I'm sure some of you might have heard, and I get asked that a lot of times. Well, what actually defines stated income? What's a stated income mortgage and what does it look like? Well, let's cover that off. Stated income is basically if you're self-employed and we're stating your income. So let's say you're one of those contractors, or let's say you're a builder of some sort, or you could be a plumber, whatever, any kind of trades like that, where you could potentially be getting cash on the side and not declaring it. Hey, I'm not advocating that you do. However, you and I and everyone out there knows that there's a big underground economy. It exists. So those are what's called stated income deals. Those are again, like I said, the folks who are self-employed and they are declaring, they're not declaring all their income. And now, when I say self-employed, that does not include groups like, let's say, realtors. You could be a realtor and self-employed. However, there's no way you can take it as cash and not declare income. There's folks that are hairstylists. Well, obviously, they're self-employed. They get tips and stuff. Tips, again, are allowed to use to a certain degree. But again, there is a limit on how much income you can comfortably declare. So what do you do if you're stated income? Well, we've got a few options for you. If you want to buy a home, if you've got truly stated income, the minimal you need with a good credit score is 10%. That's right, stated income deals, you need a minimum of 10%. Now, of course, there's no maximum. So if you've got, let's say, for example, a lot more down, you could certainly look at a mortgage, and especially in the circumstance if your credit is a little challenged as well. So if you've got bruised credit and your stated income, well, that, again, is definitely potentially anywhere from, well, sometimes we've gotten away with as little as 10%, but more than likely you're looking at 15 or more than likely 20 or greater. And that's pretty typical of that sort of thing. Now, is there, every lender does stated income? No. Some lenders like to look at those deals and some don't. But the bottom line is we're here to find that fit with the right lender who's going to look at your situation and make sense of it. Now, if you're a stated income, there is a reasonability test that still apply to this income. So, if you are, for example, let's say own a landscaper, have a landscaping business, and you come in here and tell me, well, I make $200,000 a year. Hey, I certainly hope you do, and if you do, then you probably got a ton of cash to put down and you don't need a whole lot of mortgages. However, I find that's not always the case. So a lender is going to apply some kind of a reasonability test to this. It has to make some sense. There's got to be some cohesion. Oftentimes for stated income deals, we are asked to provide some kind of bank statements or something reinforcing the fact that this income does exist. Now, if we're looking at a pure equity deal, which is a lot different than a stated income deal, we don't necessarily need that. But if you are looking at a stated income deal, lenders are going to want to see some kind of activity, some kind of business flow to prove that this money does exist, and then they can go on the rest that maybe you don't declare at all. Now, the other thing they're going to be looking for is making sure that you file accordingly. So if you are filing your taxes, you've got to be filing as self-employed. If you've got articles of incorporation, you're a limited company, a corporation, we got to show those sorts of things. Now, having said that, if you are a corporation, if you do have a corporation and you T4 yourself, that's a little different. That kind of changes the gray area a bit as to what we can declare and what we can work from, because a lot of folks sometimes when they have corporations and different things, they pay themselves in the form of dividends. Again, that adds a new layer of complexity, but nothing that we can't work with. So the bottom line is, if you are looking to state your income, there's still options, programs, things exist out there that we can assist you with. However, we are going to need you to obviously gather up the necessary documentation. It isn't like the old days before the subprime meltdown, where basically if you could fog a mirror, you got a mortgage. It's not that simple, and thank goodness it's not. There is some criteria, there is some due diligence required of it, and however, don't let that scare you and thinking that it's daunting as well, because we have been able to do lots of mortgages for folks who are self-employed. Again, if you need anything mortgage-wise, don't hesitate. Give us a shout at the Auxilium team. Auxilium simply means the care, aid, assistance, support, and that's what we do day in and day out. I look forward to talking to you next time.